In August 2015 at the Bird's Nest Stadium in Beijing, Ashton Eaton's new lifetime best score in the decathlon made a grand total of 25 world records set across the 15 editions of the IAAF World Athletics Championships. So take a moment to look back at some of the groundbreaking performances that took their events into uncharted territory on the grand platform of the World Championship stage. Number 10. Men's Decathlon, Beijing 2015. Ashton Eaton entered the 2015 IAAF World Championships as the defending champion and reigning world record holder in the decathlon. As such, he was duly installed as the favourite to retain his crown. But Eaton hadn't competed in a decathlon for more than 2 years. While he'd undoubtedly be rested, how would the American's body respond to the rigours of the 2-day, 10-event discipline? Eaton performed impressively in the opening event, the 100 metres. Running in lane 6 of a fourth heat loaded with other decathlon speed merchants, Eaton demonstrated a superb pickup in the middle part of the race and broke the tape in a World Championship decathlon best of 10.23 seconds, just outside his lifetime best of 10.21. Consistent performances followed in the long jump, shot put and high jump before a blistering run in the 400 metres underlined that Eaton was in great shape. He flew around the one-lap course in an astonishing 45 seconds flat, setting a new world decathlon best for the 3rd time in his illustrious career. Strong performances on day 2 made a world record a distinct possibility entering the final event, the 1500 metres. The tables revealed that a time of 4 minutes 18.25 seconds was what Eaton required to improve his own world record, a time he'd bettered only once. Battling against himself and the clock, he duly willed himself across the finish line nearly 3/4 of a second inside the required time, setting a new world decathlon record of 9,045 points, a 6-point improvement of his previous mark. Eaton's astonishing performance was the only world record set at the Bird's Nest that summer. It also made him the first man to set a decathlon world record at an IAAF World Championships. Number 9. Women's 400-metre hurdles, Stuttgart, 1993. At the 1993 World Athletics Championships in Stuttgart, Great Britain's Sally Gunnell was a strong favourite to add a world title to the Olympic crown she'd won in the 400-metre hurdles the year before. Not only did the Briton enter the race with golden credentials, she'd also compiled a 6-race winning streak over the course of the season, prevailing in all of the races she'd contested over the barriers prior to the championships. In doing so, she'd posted 4 separate times that were quicker than the rest of the field. As in the Olympics, America's Sandra Farmer-Patrick figured to be Gunnell's main rival. Although when the pair met in Lausanne a month before the championships, Gunnell was victorious by a massive margin of 0.66 seconds. Drawn in lane 4, Gunnell saw Farmer-Patrick go out hard in lane 6. A strong final bend saw Gunnell draw level with her chief rival by the 8th hurdle, only for Farmer-Patrick to respond again and take a slight lead over the last 2 barriers. But Gunnell had the greater momentum and produced a storming run off the last hurdle to take first place. Both Gunnell and Farmer-Patrick were inside the old world record, and when Gunnell finally realised that she'd won, the clock displayed 52.74 seconds. The previous world best had been smashed by 0.2 of a second in one of the greatest races ever seen at the World Championships. Number 8. Women's Pole Vault, Helsinki 2005. The women's pole vault is a relatively new event on the athletics event list and was only added to the Olympic Games in 2000. As such, the progression of the world record has been rapid indeed. But one athlete's name is synonymous with women's pole vault above all others: Jelena Isinbayeva. At the World Championships in Helsinki, Isinbayeva was already the reigning Olympic champion and had set the world outdoor record on 13 occasions, including 3 times in a week across 2 meetings in July 2005. But the month of August saw the Finnish capital battered by torrential rain and gale-force winds, causing the women's pole vault final to be delayed by 2 days. Many wondered if the thunderstorms would cause Isinbayeva to make heavy weather of her quest for a first world title. While none of her rivals managed to register a season's best in the final, Isinbayeva made a mockery of such gloomy predictions by soaring to top spot on the podium with consummate ease. Already the first woman to clear the magical 5-metre mark, the Russian superstar literally went one better, flying over 5 meters and 1 centimeter on her second attempt. Analysis revealed that in improving the world record she set in London 2.5 weeks before, the Russian cleared the bar by 15 centimeters. Isinbayeva's world record-setting winning mark was the greatest margin of victory ever seen in an Olympics or World Championship pole vault final, a staggering 41 centimeters clear of the silver medalist. Number 7. Women's high jump, Rome, 1987. The final saw the reigning world champion Tamara Bykova of Russia and the reigning world record holder Stefka Kostadinova of Bulgaria engage in a brilliant battle for world championship gold, resulting in a new world record. Bykova and Kostadinova cleared comfortably on their first attempt, making this the first high jump event in history where two women had cleared 2:02 in the same competition. Bykova extended her perfect card with a first-time clearance of 2:04, while Kostadinova had to overcome considerable difficulty. But when faced with elimination, the Bulgarian responded magnificently with a comfortable third-time clearance. A second-time clearance of 2:06 saw Kostadinova claim World Championship gold. With the title secure, she raised the bar to 2:09, 1 centimeter higher than her existing world record. After a first-time failure, Kostadinova comfortably cleared the bar, setting her third world record outdoors. Still the world's best mark in 2016, it's one of the longest standing world records in modern athletics. Number 6. Men's 400 meters, Seville, 1999. Before he even set foot on the track at the 1999 World Championships, Michael Johnson's legendary status in athletics was secure. He was the reigning Olympic champion over 200 and 400 meters and was in pursuit of his fourth consecutive one-lap world title in Seville. As a world record holder in the 200 meters, the only thing missing from Johnson's burgeoning trophy cabinet was the world record in the 400 meters. The best ever time in that event still belonged to his compatriot Butch Reynolds. The fast track and the hot weather in the Spanish city presented ideal conditions for a crack at the 43.29 set by Reynolds in Zurich 1988. But after pulling up in Stockholm in his last race before the World Championships, lingering doubts surrounded Johnson's fitness. He dispelled the doubts emphatically by sauntering through his semi-final in 43.95 seconds. A world record in the final was now a distinct possibility. At 31 years of age and sensing there may not be too many more opportunities to crack the 400-meter world record, Johnson went for it. The race was relatively even until the halfway stage, but then Johnson began to motor, pulling away from the rest of the field. Entering the home straight, the result was a formality. Only the world record was in question. Johnson ran all the way through the line and stopped the clock in 43.19 seconds, rounded down to 43.18, a new world record. Johnson covered the final 100 meters in a staggering 11.52 seconds. His winning margin of 10 meters was the largest ever in a World or Olympic 400-meter final, and his fourth successive World 400-meter crown saw him equal Carl Lewis's record with a total of 8 World Championship gold medals. Number 5. Women's Hammer, Berlin 2009. The 12th edition of the IAAF World Athletics Championships in Berlin had already been electrified by Usain Bolt's sensational world records in the 100 meters and 200 meters. But on the penultimate day of the championships, the women's hammer final promised something spectacular, as the world leader Anita Wlodarczyk of Poland and Germany's Betty Heidler, the defending champion from Osaka 2007, led qualifying to underline their status as favourites for gold. The two main protagonists led the field after the opening round, with Wlodarczyk registering 74 meters 86 and Heidler a throw of 75 meters 10. Wlodarczyk opened the second round and launched the implement beyond Heidler's leading mark. Wlodarczyk and her coaches immediately celebrated. The 24-year-old had taken the competition by the scruff of the neck. Wlodarczyk had left the throwing circle by the time the official distance was announced. At 77 meters 96 centimeters, it was a new world record. Wlodarczyk burst into exuberant celebrations, so much so that she twisted her right ankle as she bounded across the running track. So severe was the injury that she was unable to compete further in the final and could only watch as Heidler demonstrated tremendous competitive spirit to inch closer to her leading mark with 4 of her 5 remaining throws, culminating in a national record of 77 meters 12 in the final round. but Wlodarczyk's new world record withstood Heidler's furious assault to see her crowned as Poland's first female world hammer champion. The ankle injury Wlodarczyk sustained while celebrating her new world record would ultimately require surgery, but her brilliant performance provided one of the highlights of the 2009 World Championships. Number 4. Men's triple jump, Gothenburg, 1995. In the summer of 1995, Jonathan Edwards jumped beyond 18 meters on 4 occasions ahead of the World Championships in Gothenburg, including the longest jump in history, 18 meters 43 centimeters at the European Cup. But each time, the tailwind was above the permissible limits for record purposes. 3 weeks prior to the global gathering in Sweden, Edwards set a new world record in the triple jump of 17 meters 98, surpassing the 10-year-old mark of America's Willie Banks by 1 centimeter. So Edwards was clearly in great form, but no one could have possibly foreseen the demonstration of triple jumping that he was about to unleash in the Swedish city. In the first round, Edwards blazed down the runway, produced 3 flawless phases and landed well beyond the end of the 18-meter measuring board. The wind speed was a legal 1.3 meters per second. The world record had clearly been obliterated, but by how much? The official distance was 18 meters 16 centimeters, the first legal 18-meter jump in history. But Edwards was not finished. He took to the runway for his second round attempt and produced a jump that was even better than the mind-boggling world record established just minutes before. The distance was measured at 18 meters 29 centimeters. In claiming its maiden world title, Edwards became the first man to set consecutive triple jump world records in the same series and the first man to set 3 triple jump world records in the same season. Number 3. Men's long jump, Tokyo, 1991. The men's long jump final at the World Championships in Tokyo is widely regarded as the best competition in the history of the event. It saw Bob Beamon's long-standing world record of 8 meters 90 centimeters surpassed not once but twice on the same night. America's Carl Lewis was the reigning, defending, double Olympic and double world champion. America's Carl Lewis was the reigning, defending, double Olympic and double world champion. Unbeaten in 65 long jump competitions going back to 1981, Lewis was the world's preeminent long jumper. But reigning Olympic silver medalist Mike Powell was a serious threat. Despite failing to secure a win against Lewis in any of their 15 meetings to date, Powell had lost to Lewis by just 1 centimeter in New York 2 months earlier. It was Powell's only defeat that season prior to the World Championships. In qualifying, Lewis produced a jump of 8 meters 56 centimeters, the best qualifying mark ever. A combination of perfect conditions and elite athletes in supreme form suggested Beamon's 23-year-old world record could well be under threat. Come the final, the long jump took center stage and it was Lewis who shone in the spotlight, producing a magnificent series. The reigning champion produced a championship record of 8 meters 68 centimeters with his first effort. After a foul in the second, Lewis leapt to a wind-aided lifetime best of 8 meters 83 centimeters in round 3. In the fourth round, Lewis uncorked a jump that was close to Beamon's world record. The wind reading was again above the legal limit, but the measurement revealed it was the longest jump in history, 8 meters 91 centimeters. Bob Beamon's mythical mark had finally been breached. While Lewis was in the midst of his sensational series, Powell had produced a best of 8 meters 54 centimeters to sit in second place. His fifth round effort changed everything. Powell soared out to a distance around the 9-meter mark. The wind speed was permissible. An agonizing wait for the official distance followed. The figures displayed 8 meters 95 centimeters. Powell burst into a full-speed lap of honor at the realization that 5 centimeters had been added to Bob Beamon's best from the Mexico City Olympic Games. Mike Powell was the new world record holder. Lewis had 2 jumps remaining and extended the greatest sequence of long jumps ever seen. But he couldn't overhaul Mike Powell. Lewis had been beaten for the first time in 10 years, and for the first time in the history of the IAAF World Championships, the men's long jump champion was someone other than Carl Lewis. Number 2. Men's 200 meters, Berlin 2009. Usain Bolt was making his third appearance in a World Championship 200-meter final in Berlin 2009. But despite being the Olympic champion and world record holder, he was still in pursuit of his first world title in the half-lap event. In his maiden 200-meter final appearance as a precocious teenager in Helsinki 4 years earlier, the Jamaican pulled up in the home straight and limped home in last place. 2 years later, Bolt's improvement was evident for all to see as he won a silver medal in Osaka. But after a breakthrough year in 2008 that saw him rewrite the record books at the Beijing Olympics, Usain Bolt was now the main man in track and field. Bolt powered from the blocks and ran a blistering bend. By the halfway point, he was already clear of the field and continued to pull away from his rivals down the home straight. When he crossed the line, the clock stopped at 19.20 seconds. This was quickly rounded down to 19.19. Bolt claimed his first World 200-meter title in spectacular style. It was the largest margin of victory in World Championships history, and he bettered his own world record by more than 1/10 of a second. Number 1. Men's 100 meters, Berlin 2009. Having been a specialist 200-meter runner until 2008, Bolt lined up for his first World Championship 100-meter final in Berlin 2009. Despite being a recent convert to the short sprint, Bolt was already the Olympic champion and world record holder in the event, and a clocking of 9.89 seconds in his semi allayed any fears about his fitness after being involved in a car accident earlier in the season. Bolt produced a solid start in the final and was slightly ahead at the 20-meter mark. From this point on, the result of the race was never in doubt. Bolt powered clear of the field and increased his lead with every stride. Bolt broke the tape in 9.58 seconds, more than 1/10 of a second quicker than his old world record of 9.69. It was the biggest improvement of a 100-meter world record since the introduction of electronic timing in 1968. In claiming his first world 100-meter title in such historic fashion, Bolt joined Carl Lewis in an exclusive group. They're the only men to set the 100-meter world record in a World Championship final. We hope you've enjoyed our look back at these top moments. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great athletics content and visit IAAF.org for the latest news, updates and information from the world of athletics.